10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
The following program is proudly brought to you by Destination Southern Highlands. Time to experience.
We are on the top of the Barrel Hotel, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm talking to a future superstar. This is fantastic.
Monique Tuzinski reporting for Highlands TV, and we are here at the Chevalier College Annual 2014 Presentation Ball. The sun is setting, it's a beautiful Friday night, and the hall is decked out in a beautiful Parisian theme, so let's go inside and take a look.
Hey, I'm Will. We're from In-House Chef, the local Southern Highlands catering company, and we're here to do the presentation ball to cater.
We are here inside the Grand Hall. The designers have spared no expense. We are here in front of some golden gates that look like they've been brought right from Paris. Mr. Chris McDermott, who is the principal of Chevalier College. How are you, Chris?
Very well, Monique, thank you.
Great. So, would you be able to tell us what this presentation ball means to you?
The presentation ball is a great opportunity for our kids to come together, look great, have their parents watch them and see and be very, very proud. It's also an opportunity for our kids to have a wonderful, wonderful night without the need for anything other than their own company, their friends and their family around.
We're here with Ben and Darnay, who are parents of the students at the college. So tell us what it's like to be here now.
Oh, it's all very exciting. This is our first time at one of these Chev events because our son's in Year 11, our oldest one, and we're very excited. It looks lovely. They put a lot of work in.
I can't believe the work that they've put into it. It's just fantastic.
It looks beautiful.
Very exciting. And it's very exciting, and even though traditionally it's been more about the girls, which of course it's a big deal for the girls, but it's wonderful for the boys as well, and we're really excited for him.
So when did the presentation ball become the presentation ball? When did it stop being called the debutante, and why?
Well, I can probably do the why a bit better than I can do the when. The when part was roughly around probably 2005-ish, thereabouts, and it came about because the debutante ball was still very much an old concept where young women would be presented to society. And the problem was that our young men deserved to be as presented as the girls did. So we moved away from this traditional sense of partnering into everybody gets presented, and so the sense of debutante no longer applied, and therefore it became all of our young people are going to just be presented, full stop.
Great, so everyone is equal.
Everyone is equal and everybody is special.
So we're here with Tori and Amelia, and are you girls both in Year 11?
Year 11, yeah.
Wonderful. So what are you most looking forward to about tonight's ball?
The dancing. Yeah, dancing.
Dancing?
Yeah.
Have you been practicing a lot?
Yeah, we've had practices for a couple of months now, and we're very excited. Yeah.
So behind me we have some of the students just getting ready and doing their practice dances before they go out. They all look great, and very soon we'll be moving to the presentation hall where they'll be having their first dance. So we're back here in the hall, and behind me everyone's starting to take their seats and fill up. And we also have the red carpet where the students will be walking down and getting presented. So we are here with Jacob, and Jacob is no stranger to Highlands TV. He's a musician here in the Highlands. So what have you been up to musically lately?
Nothing much, just writing quite a bit, writing a fair bit, and just gigging up in Canberra and Wollongong.
Excellent. And what does the presentation ball mean to you?
I don't know, I think it's just a good chance for our year to get together, to be honest. You know, there's not this many chances, elsewhere at other schools where a year can, get together and look this nice and just be in each other's company. So it's really great.
Absolutely. And you've got quite a big year. It's about 200 kids, I hear.
Yeah.
So it must be a great bonding experience for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I think especially this year we've kind of bonded as a year group. So this is just like another little thing to, help.
So we're here with Mr. John Dooley. How are you, sir?
I'm well, Monique, thank you.
So the students don't actually know, but he is our guest of honour for tonight. So how have you been involved with Chevalier College?
I was a student here between 1965 and 1970, and I've been a member of the now named Ex-Students Association ever since then.
Excellent. So how does it feel coming back here tonight?
Well, apart from having had the odd sneaky walk through the grounds 2 or 3 times over the last few years, it's quite an emotional trip back. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what are you looking forward to most for the presentation ball?
Oh well, I'm looking forward to ideally having something to say to this group of students which is thought-provoking and serves them in some measure to give them some ideas as they move forward into Year 12 and beyond.
So we're here with Mel Gabor, who is a creative designer and also a parent at the college. So tell us about your role here.
Okay, so I'm the organiser of the committee that put together the presentation ball. I'm a mum of 4 kids, and Jamie's my second child, and he's being presented tonight.
So just off camera, we've been talking to a student, and they don't know what the theme is for the presentation ball. So each year it's going to be a new surprise.
Our God, for the gifts He gives us, we thank God that we live in such a rich country that we don't need wonderful things. We thank Him for the creation that provides our needs. But also on a night like this, we thank Him for the gift of the young people, the people that will be presented here tonight, that are the future of our country. And we ask God's blessing on them, to keep them safe, and to know that they are loved by so many people. We make our prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen.
We're here with Steve and Fiona, who are the creative designers of the Chev presentational ball. So tell us what the process was like for you.
Well, we did the decorations for my daughter's presentation ball 2 years ago, a Venetian ball, and my younger daughter, watching the whole process, was saying to me, well, Mum, what are you going to do for my ball? And I said, well, if I'm lucky enough to do the decorations again, why don't we do Paris? Because at that age, she was in Year 9, she was 14, so Paris is very romantic. Yeah. So it just grew from there.
So how was that? What were the challenges with creating that?
Fiona comes up with the ideas of decorating and props she needs, so I generally make them over the previous months.
Just started here at the 2014 annual Chevalier College presentation ball. Everyone's having a great time and the dance practice has definitely paid off. I'm Monique Szynski for Highlands TV.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
And I'm Councillor Ian Scandrett, Wingecarribee Shire Council. And we're delighted to have the bash here today in Barrel.
Mate, I just love it, mate. I've done a lot of charity stuff on motorbikes and stuff, And a mate of mine just lost his driver 2 weeks before he started a couple of years ago in 2012. And he said, mate, you've got to come with me. You're a mechanic. He said, you can be my mechanic, my driver and my bodyguard. So I went, yeah, we're doing it. It's got to be done for the kids.
No, No, sorry, we've got Nick Pope, Nicholas and Neil Wallace, with Imogen and Will, our baby birds, and we're the Thunderbirds.
Okay, we're the Bush Cricketers. Our drive is to introduce cricket to all the towns as we go through, leave cricket packs with them, play a bit of cricket with them and enjoy ourselves. And interestingly, work with young kids in the country who don't have those the ability to play the game or the equipment for that matter.
Good morning. This is Mr. and Mrs. Leprechaun. We're car number 76. Our biggest sponsor for variety is Mulligan's Irish Restaurant. It's Sydney's only Irish restaurant, and we are leprechauns.
Morning, my name is Ian Anderson. We're in car 49. We have a 68 Falcon, six-cylinder, the old standard thing, got old 3 on the tree, disc brakes, drum brakes, goes okay. And we're here to raise money for special needs children, doing the Variety Bash. We started in Brisbane and we've gone up into Bundaberg, into Barcaldine, into Cunnanulla, into Warriner, into Bourke, down to Balranald, and here we are in Bowral. We'll finish back in Sydney today at Busby's Ball.
Honestly, I heard about it, but I hadn't really heard much, learnt much about it. But today I found out that this was a charity event for the variety. Yeah, and they travel around from Brisbane and through every town, starting with B, coming to raise awareness.
It changes every year.
Changes every year?
Yeah, the Bs change every year.
So they, hang on, say again, they travel through every town starting with B?
Yeah, they only stop in Bs.
Really?
Yeah. Help out with breakfast and
coffee.
Yeah, ushered everyone in, showed them where to go.
Ushers, juices.
Yeah, juices. Very helpful.
Looking forward to school tomorrow?
Yeah.
Actually, we all have an excursion, so. Yeah, we're going to the mosque.
Which one? In Auburn?
Yeah.
All right.
1990 we started. We just seen the cars. I seen the cars travelling along the Windsor Road and wondered what it was all about, and made some inquiries, and that's how it started. Yes.
Yeah, and all three of you from day one, or did more people start coming on?
Max and I started together. Ian had his own car. Then over a period of time we had a break and then came back and decided to make it all together. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Michael Alec for Highlands TV, and we're here today in the historical town of Joadja to investigate this town's remarkable and amazing historical story. We're here with Val at Joadja, the owner here. How are you, Val?
Very well, thanks.
That's great. And give us a bit of a history of Joadja.
Okay, well essentially the property here was, the shale, it's an old shale mining town, and originally really spotted about 1850s by a fellow by the name of Ed Carter, and he didn't really do anything until the 1870s when he sold the rights to a company called the Australian Kerosene Oil and Mineral Company, and that company ran from about 1878 right through to 1911, operating a private town here, extracting the shale, processing it here, manufacturing goods, selling it to other parts of the world, not only the rest of the colony. They went into liquidation in 1911.
Wow, so it's got a very long and very deep history.
Very much so. Mainly Scots were brought out here. The Scots were at the forefront of shale mining and processing at the time in the world, and they were brought out here because they had the know-how of how to go ahead and exploit the valley here.
Sure, and what sort of things do they use the shale for?
It's kerosene shale or torbanite, and they're extracting oil out of it, the richest shale in the world here in Joadja and places like Glen Davis and so forth, yielding over 600 litres of oil per tonne, about half of which would be kerosene, so they'd be looking for kerosene for lamps and heating and so forth. Also they'd have paraffin for making candles, and then they'd make the boxes, the labels for the boxes, the candles here, export it to other parts of the world.
And tell us about the whisky distillery.
Okay, well the whisky distillery built about 6 or 7 years ago by the previous owner. It never really got its excise licence, but when we took over about 3 years ago, we looked into or investigated what this business was all about, and we were very pleasantly surprised to find that the best barrels for maturing or aging your whisky are ex-sherry butts from Spain. And of course, I don't know whether you know, but my wife Elisa is from Spain, and so am I, but she comes from Jerez, which is where sherry comes from. So there was an automatic link there between whisky and the Spaniards, if you like. Bill Lark from Tasmania helped us to sort of get a leg up and start to investigate how we can continue with that Scottish heritage. And so here we are today, literally about a month or two ago, got our excise license, and we'll be producing new make spirit here literally next week.
Fantastic. So is Joadja really a ghost town?
Well, it's technically a ghost town. Whether it's literally a ghost town, that's for you to find out. It really, you have to come down. I know that a lot of people who have come down here say that they feel a presence, but it's a pleasant, happy feeling. It's not a dark, miserable sort of a feeling here. Everyone who comes down here, they feel happy. It's a good feeling, and certainly quirky things have happened, interesting little stories that we can tell you, but that's for another time.
Sure. Well, and I think if the spirits are coming here, it's because this is paradise, right?
Yeah, well, I can tell you that we've had nothing but good luck. We're not, I'm a little bit of a skeptic, and we're not superstitious people, but certainly there is a happy feeling about the place, and only good things have happened to us so far.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a very happy place. Okay, thank you for your time, Val.
Thanks for your time, Michael.
See you on the tour.
Will do. Bye-bye. Okay, so these are the retorts, the D-shaped retorts. They were dragged out, all built in Scotland, dragged out here 135 years ago by bullock teams until they had their narrow gauge line from Mittagong to Joadja. Once here, they were just behind the camera here, we've got the main mines. They're bringing the shale down to this point. They've cooked the shale for about 3 or 4 days, in fact, because it's the richest shale in the world, and they'd extract about 600 litres of oil per tonne.
Okay, Val, so tell us about the engineering feat that was the incline.
Okay, so we're here in a valley. Transport was a real problem for the mining company. Originally, we know that the fellow who discovered the shale, Ed Carter, was using bullock teams, and they would take 1 tonne of shale up the top of the escarpment and off to Mittagong. Now that would take anywhere between 3 and 5 days. When the company took over, they built what we call the narrow gauge incline, which is the photo you see behind us here, and that was a narrow gauge 3'6" gauge railway track going up to the top of the incline. At the top they had a 40 horsepower steam engine with winding gear and cables hauling the trolleys up to the top of the incline. From there they were eventually allowed to connect the top of the incline with Mittagong with their narrow gauge line, and then they could get from here to Mittagong in about 2 hours instead of 3 or 4 days.
So we're standing here in the mining director's house. Obviously Val, he hasn't been here for a little while, as you can see. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, of course, the mining company, if they had their way, they would have wanted not to spend any money on any infrastructure. They would have just wanted a tent city, exploit the valley and get out. But of course, to lure a big mine director out here to run the show, they would have had to invest some money, make sure that this family is well looked after, and this is the house they built for the mine director. Part of the magic of Joadja begins here. Hi, I'm Val.
Hi, and I'm Elisa.
We're from Joadja Ghost Town. And what I like about Maya Southern Highlands is that not many people know that this is where the Southern Highlands almost began. Not many people know that this is where 12 to 1,300 people, miners, were brought out from Scotland mainly to exploit the little valley here. And I think it's about time that people come down and have a look at the mystery, the drama, the beauty of Joadja.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi, I'm Michael Alec for Highlands TV, and we're down here with music man Steve Cheers, former lead singer of the band Cowpoke, now a solo music artist. He owns a shop, he has a family. Steve, how did you manage all of this?
Michael, can I have your jacket?
Sure, why not?
I really like that jacket. How did I manage all this? Well, lots of hard work and not much sleep, really. Just and keep at it. Keep at it. You spent many years in my youth, trying to write the perfect song and have a hit single, but in the end, enjoyment is really what it's all about for me.
That's good. Beautiful, passionate. Fantastic. Now, your main instrument is guitar, vocals?
Yeah, that's right. I'm probably more a vocalist songwriter. I play enough guitar to get by, and I'm a sound engineer. I spent many years, after I realised I wasn't going to be the international star I dreamed, being a sound engineer, and I really love doing that too. I don't do so much of it now because we've got the business here, which the whole family's involved in, which is great. But probably singer-songwriter would be the main thing as far as the music is concerned. Yeah.
Cool. I'm very jealous. I wish I could play guitar.
Do you want to join the band?
Is that an opening?
What can you play?
I can play piano.
Piano.
Keyboard.
Well, okay. Well, look, I'll put you down.
And I sing.
No. No room for a second singer.
Backup vocals. I can do harmonies.
All right, you're in.
Yes. What has been your most exciting gig? Is there a standout?
Oh, look, there's been a lot of them. In 2008, and it was actually Cowpoke's last gig, we went to the Deniliquin Ute Muster, and it's down on the Victorian border, and basically 20,000 people that drive utes and drink a lot of rum pitched tents on the Deniliquin Plain for about 3 days. And we were down there and played that weekend, and the headline act was Lee Kernaghan and a few other significant stars in the country music scene like Becky Cole and Sarah Storer. We were about sort of the 12th support, and it turned out to be our last gig, although we didn't know that at the time. And that was pretty amazing, 20,000 rowdy ute driving, rum drinking country music fans. And the gig itself went pretty well, and we were sort of in the early part of it, and then we hung around backstage, probably a bit longer than we should have, until all the stars arrived, and probably I don't need to say too much more about that, but the gig went well.
Good. So tell us about the cover you did, Rise, which our very own Aussie filmed. How did that come about?
When we recorded the album 3 years ago, it is now, I did put two of my favourite covers on with my own stuff, and the fourth single, which was released last year, was a song, Rise, which people would know from a successful cover that Daryl Braithwaite did of it in the early 90s. It was actually written by a band called The Chosen Few, who released it about a year before Daryl, and they were a favourite band of mine, and I actually did a couple of supports to them in the early 90s. And it's just something I've always had in my set list. It's one of those songs that people hear and they halfway through, or you get to the chorus and they say, hey, I know that song. And I really like it. I really like the words. I really like the story. I really like the tune. I'm a big melody man, and it sort of fits in really with the sort of material that I write. And the video we shot here locally, really pleased with it. As you say, Aussie filmed that one and edited it. And Highlands TV's Mark Cuff played the lead role as a bum, which he did amazingly well, I must say. And we used all locals. I run a local trivia night here. We pulled in a few of the regulars to that to come and be extras, bouncers, and throwing coins in young Nissa's case, and very happy with it. And it's done very well on YouTube as well. Got a bit of a run on the Country Music Channel, not quite as successful as some of the other singles from the album, I guess maybe because it was the fourth, but that's okay. And onwards and upwards to the next one.
Rise, your cover of Rise, it's not a country song, but it must tell a story. So how do those two connect?
Well, yeah, all good country music songs do tell a story. And Rise, although it isn't a country song in its creation, or wasn't, our version is. And, we added the fiddle and the folk feel. And it is a story song, and so therefore it fits beautifully, and that was one reason why we chose that song for the album. So Rise really is a song of rising against or above your limitations in life. And it's got a little bit of a sense, and this is how we filmed the video, of pay it forward. Whereas, you know, what you do for one person, it gets handed on to another, and the goodness accumulates. So I'm not sure that's what the song was originally about, but that's how we interpret it with the video. And, you know, a video is about interpreting songs. But, you know, it's just a good song about not letting the circumstances that you might be born into or that you might accidentally come across, not letting them hold you down, and you know, as the song says, just to rise in your own way above those things.
It's beautiful. It's a fantastic theme.
I didn't write it, I wish I did.
Thank you for speaking to us, Steve.
My pleasure, Michael.
It's been a wonderful insight into a great local musician.
Oh, thank you. I'll humbly accept that, but I'm not sure I deserve it.
No, you absolutely do, and I'll be very keen to go around town and see you performing when I can.
Well, maybe the next one might be a new album launch next year, so we'll see how we go.
Fantastic. We'll be there. We'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, well, I know you will be there. Well, I hope you'll be there. It's your album
Yeah,
launch.
yeah, I'll be there.
Thank you for speaking to us.
My pleasure.
I'm Michael Alec for Highlands TV.
I'm Steve Cheers on Highlands TV, and this is Rise.
Friends, foes and firewood are gathering in the tenements night, while fast Eddie Robinson brings home food for those too slow. For too many years he has lived on these streets. His room is full of memories and the stories repeat, and somehow everything is turning upside down. And they've been sleeping in the subway, the only place they call their own. And eventually they rise, yes they rise, oh they rise in their own way. Yes they rise in their own way. While Katrina's in the family way, she doesn't have a lot to say. I wonder why. She comes home twice a week to wash her clothes and watch her mother cry. There's too many rules for her living at home, and too many fools on the streets where she roams, and somehow everything is turning upside down. And they've been sleeping in the subway, the only place they call their home. And eventually they rise, yes they rise, oh they rise in their own way. Yes they rise in their own way. Her only daughter left too many years ago, still she doesn't know why. She says, don't you worry mother, you will never see me cry. And they rise in their own way. Yes they rise in their own way. Yes they rise in their own way. Yes they rise in their own way.
on the top of the Barrel Hotel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking to a future superstar. This is fantastic.
The following program was proudly brought to you by Destination Southern Highlands. Time to experience.